Alright, so this is our lander, and the script should work for you. We have, oh my gosh, what is all of this stuff? Okay, is it a ship that's in orbit here? It sure is. Okay, so we're going to set that as a target. I suppose I'll just time warp that around. I was thinking of just actually launching right away. It would have been probably okay, but let's err on the side of safety. Yeah, it would have been fine. I should have just launched. What am I doing? I should have just launched. Next time I'll launch. There we go. Okay. So, I'm going to go into a 75-kilometer orbit. I think that should be good. And that leaves me some wiggle room underneath the ship. So I'm just going to wait for the target icon to just... I don't know why. I always wait for it to get to the end of the birdie wing here. And then I punch it. Should be okay. What is the Ike Lander CPU? Asks Ender Games. This is a mod called KOS, Kerbal Operating System. It is a scripting language that works within the game. So what I've done is I wrote myself a launch script to deal with more routine launches than that last idiot launch that we just saw. And it's now running the script, so I'm not doing the flying. My computer program I wrote is doing the flying, and I have some scripts to do some other things, orienting vessels for solar panels, executing maneuvers, a few other things. You're just really limited, just really with your own imagination and comp size skills when it comes to it. It's pretty cool. But that's what this is. I know it says up here Ike Lander CPU, but the mod is KOS. This is just this little console window. There's a CPU on the ship, and that's why it says that. You can have multiple CPUs running multiple programs if you wanted to. And I can't show you the program because the program's actually running right now. But that's okay. All right, I think it was only a week ago this thing flew, and it flew fine, as I recall, but somehow I'm just nervous. Something's going to go wrong. Like, for instance, this engine failing. Did I upgrade the engine? I don't know if I upgraded the engine. I should have. So doesn't this look a lot more sane? You know, I was even considering if I go to, while this is all launching, if I go to my launch window information here, for the ejection, it's a 1,043 meters per second ejection, 1,034.4 of that being prograde and 133.6 of that being normal. You can actually eliminate the normal component of this ejection by putting yourself into an appropriate inclination. That's why it has this insertion inclination. If you make the inclination negative 1.79 degrees and also get the ascending and descending nodes in the right spot, which isn't too hard. They just need to be 90 degrees from the ejection angle. I even have a script that actually works out when to do your launch, so that'll all work out okay. And that will save me a whole about 11 meters per second of delta V if I did that. Instead of the ejection being 1,043, it'll be 1,034. So the reason I didn't do that is, number one, it only saves you 11 meters per second of delta V. Number two, that would have required putting that stupid thing I just flew into a very precisely inclined orbit, and I had no faith in my ability to do that. So I think I'm better off not doing that. I think I'm going to come... Oh, this is ending early. Hopefully it'll be okay. We've hit our target apoapsis, but we're still in the atmosphere, so we're going to lose a little bit of altitude. A little bit of wobbling happening, too. That's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. I'm worried about nothing. Okay, there we go. Lander's getting all set for the insertion. a 421 meters per second left, and there's still 782 meters per second left in this booster, so that's where my extra fuel is going to come from, right there. I'm going to steal the liquid fuel that's left over from this booster. Ender Games is asking, do you do it in a separate editor? You can do it in game, but the interface in the game is you could do either, as Michael is saying. But the in-game one's a bit of a pain. I do it with an external editor. Any kind of text editor will do. Though, of course, you can just use specifically coding ones, too. Might have to retract the solar panels when docking with the mothership. I certainly hope not, because these solar panels don't retract. They're gonna break off rather than retract. So well, you know, we'll find out what happens. I'm just realizing too, I'm gonna have an issue. This thing's down to 0 ignitions. Frickety frackety froo. Okay, so my issue, that got into orbit just super, but this engine is not built for multiple. I don't know if I didn't, but it's got 0 ignitions left. I still got to do the rendezvous, but I think the odds of me successfully pulling off that rendezvous is pretty close to 0. What I could do, and what I think might be the smarter thing to do, though this is getting more complicated by the minute, is to bring up my crew and do something about this engine before I do anything else. Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay. Yeah, because there's... shoot. If I fire this engine off, there's a very good chance it's going to fail. And then I got to slow down when I go to do the rendezvous. I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to the Space Center. I'm not gonna perform the rendezvous. I'm gonna get up and in. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get up and in. This is getting so stupid. I got me an idea. So if I grab the Ike one, go to it right now. This will give me a good idea when the ejection's coming. And then we'll time warp so we're close to the ejection. We'll bring up the crew. That way the crew uses up a minimal amount of life support. And their first job is going to be to shuffle all these bits together. So what I'm doing here is if I open up this, open this up. And I love this show the ejection angle. Look at that. Isn't that great? There's also the, if you come out here, show the phase angle. So if you want to just time warp until the green line is on the blue line, then you're at the right phase angle. So you can see I'm still not quite there. I'm still a couple of days short. But we can set this maneuver up right now. Let's show the ejection angle again. So the ejection angle shows you where to put the maneuver. So the maneuver goes right here. Well, it'll be a little off from that because it's actually going to be a couple of days in the future. And then what we're going to do is hop ahead orbits until this is like 2 days in the future, or approximately that. There actually is a time here, right? Time to event 1 day, 4 hours, and 37 minutes. So we can back off a little bit. 1 day, 4 hours, and 37. There's 1 day, 4 hours, and 35 minutes. And then I should be able to just simply put in the numbers here. It won't be exact, but it should be pretty close. So the prograde is 134.4. 1034.4. And the normal component is 133.6. Takes out all that guesswork. Let's see how close that comes. Move this out. Here, just close this. Oh, let's set Duna as a target. I don't think it's quite there. Probably because the timing just isn't right. So get on here. Start moving ahead in time. No. Backwards in time. I think I need a little more prograde, to be honest. Or maybe ahead in orbit. What happens if I pop ahead one orbit? That's not making it better. Okay, let's a little bit more prograde. There we are. We'll make her work. So I just want to set this up now so I know when this burn is going to be, and then we'll time warp so we're closer. I think you understand what I'm talking about. What am I doing? Oh, I want to get that maneuver back. Either way, a lot better than the kind of guesswork you have to do in... I think I'm off a little bit. Let's see, time. Ah, there we go. There we go. Focus view. Wah. Okay, back on the maneuver again. Oh, that was... Let's do 1 second intervals here. That makes it further. This is making it closer. That's about as good as that's going to get. That's actually not bad. We can deal with the rest in an orbital... Of course, our target really is Ike, but we're obviously going to have to make some sort of a plane change on the way. Can I do that here? I typically find the plane changes are better. Oh, that does something. And whoa, 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 this way. No, no, I'm not helping. I'm not helping. Oh, shoot. Go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should put the normal back to what it was. That was a mistake. Normal should be 133.6. Should have known better. There. I'm going to live with that. We'll do a correction on the way out. So this burn's coming out in 1 day and 4 hours. It's 1,048 meters per second, which is pretty darn close to what the prediction was. So what I'm going to do is set up an alarm. Close this alarm details for the maneuver. So add an alarm. Give myself 3 hours notice. Okay. Now let's get back to the Space Center. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead to there. So that's our 3-hour warning to that maneuver. Looking like we're going to have a night launch. I hope that's okay. Okay, and I guess we can get rid of this now. And then we need to get our space plane. All right, so now we are getting the Dart. We are crewing it up, and we're crewing it up with the original 4. So we're going to have Jeb and Val in the cockpit. Bill and Bob are in the seats at the back. I just want to check cargo that I don't have anything stupid in here, that I've done something like the last time I think everything should be good. All right. So, yeah, that's good, good, good. Save. Launch. Yep. So this is going to be a night launch. Put the, here, brakes on. Let's get everything going. Lights on. Alarm clock, go away. Okay. So these guys are ready and excited and excellent. Yep, okay. So what we need is Our target is going to be the lander. That's not the lander button. That's the lander. So this is what we're going for. And I'm thinking it's only in a 75 kilometer orbit. So probably my best bet is to launch a bit ahead of it and into a bit of a higher orbit. I'm thinking like a 90, be ahead of it. The plane takes a while to get up, so I think probably launching now would be a good idea. So I do have a space plane launch program, so space plane launch. I think I put in inclination and altitude, and that is it. And hopefully this will work. It's been a little while. I always forget. Okay, that's a good sign. And we're off. So again, this is KOS. This is not the most brilliant of scripts. It was something I kind of cobbled together. And I know it's not the most efficient thing in the world. But I like to have the ability to, you know, just kind of run this. So I put in 90, did I not? I put in 90. Maybe did I type in 70? I don't have anything here that tells me what I put in. I hope I put in 90. If not, I mean, it's pretty easy to fire up these engines and push it up to 90, right? If it's 70 would be sketchy. 70 would be just barely out of the atmosphere. No, you think Mark thinks I did 90. I better not have done 70. Oh, we'll deal. We'll deal. Is the spaceplane script in my GitHub? James is asking. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. If it's not, I'll add it. Like, obviously not at this moment, but if it's not, let me know in the Discord and I'll add it for sure. Look at all there's this weird haze that comes off these lights. It's like you're flying through a light fog. It's like that all the time. No problem, Louis. So the goal here, in case you're not piecing together from my ramblings, is this is going to meet up with the lander. Bill is going to get out. He's going to service that engine so it can continue to fire and have ignitions. I think I'm going to leave Bill in the lander. So Bill is going to fly the lander over to the Ike 1, and then these guys, Jeb, Valentina, and Bob, the rest of our crew, is going to, maybe I should put some, but maybe I'll put Valentina with Bill or something. But the rest of these folks are also going to go to the Ike 1, and then hopefully we'll all round up there and everything will be ready to get ourselves out towards Duna. Okay, see ya, Wolfie. Have a good nap. Glad you can make it. Yeah, I think it is Scatterer that puts in these light hazes, but there was an update. It didn't used to have these little hazes. I also noticed that the little lens flares are just off where the actual lights are. You see that? The lens flare is there, but the light is there. If you stay far away, it looks good, but if you come in too close, it looks kind of funny. You wouldn't trust Valentino. Well, Valentina's, I think, I don't think I should put Bill in by himself, so. Valentina going to be with Bob or be with Bill? One of the two. Does Valentina and Bob have a history? Oh, I'm very happy to hear that, Dave. The one thing about the this game, KSP1, is it really doesn't teach you much. I mean, you learn a lot. There's no doubt about it. You learn through failure, and I hope that's still a good part of the model in KSP2. But the learning curve to just get yourself to be functional is pretty brutal, and I think you really do. The game really does rely on having an external community to to help you out with, like, how do I build a rocket that doesn't flip over, and how do I get to orbit, because none of that's, and how do I maneuver in space, because none of that stuff is intuitive. If you're into science fiction movies, the vast majority of them aren't going to help you at all, because they don't even deal with it. Even the good ones, like, yeah, whether they're good movies or not. But you do end up learning a lot in this game. It's just it's learning through errors. That's for sure. I'm hoping KSP2 will be a little bit kinder. But not, I don't know, not too much more kind. You don't want it to be, you want to have that experience of things going wrong and having to puzzle out why they went wrong. All right, so we're picking up speed here. We're almost at 1,000 meters per second. At some point, this thing is going to pitch up at way too abruptly because of my janky script, and it's going to lose speed because of drag, but it should be fine anyway. Yeah, the Expanse does a very good job of showing stuff, doing orbital maneuvering, but you know, they don't really explain it. It's just there in the background. Most science fiction, space is like an ocean where you get to go around in 3 dimensions. There it goes. So we're going to closed cycle mode. Going on to the toroidal engines here at the back. But that pitching up maneuver is too abrupt. Yeah, most science fiction movies give the impression that, like, once you're in space, like, all the gravity is gone and you can just fly here, fly there in a straight line, and it certainly doesn't work that way. Yeah, I think KSP is pretty much on yeah. If you have no kind of background in how rockets actually work, I couldn't even imagine just dropping into KSP and just expecting things to figure things out. Okay, we're doing good. 45 kilometers on our apoapsis. Now it's into the... Oh, we've gone into target mode. I don't want that. I guess we're close enough to our target. That's not exactly a good sign. Yeah, didn't I want to get ahead of this thing? I'm going to be behind it. We'll figure it out. However, I only got 3 hours until our getting out of here, so I can't spend too much time flapping about. So I launched too late. Or took off too late. It's not really a launch. What I might do is, once this thing gets to its target apoapsis, I think I might abort the script and try and see if I can finagle my encounter. This apoapsis is going to go up to 90, right? No, this isn't going to work. Maybe I'll just let it go. We'll figure it out. We are behind it when I should have been ahead of it. That's the problem. But who knows? No, we're not going to get a good encounter here. There's no way, because we're behind it. There it is. Yeah, we're far off. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay, that's my target. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to abort the script here. Get rid of this. I'm thinking probably my best plan is at apoapsis to simply raise... I obviously got to get my periapsis out of the atmosphere. I think that goes without saying. Whoops, back on the maneuver. Of course, I gotta be careful. My apoapsis is still decreasing, right? Yeah. Let's get out of space here. Or let's get out of the atmosphere, sorry. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can do to finagle ourselves a rendezvous. So the periapsis has to come out of the atmosphere. That comes without saying. Or goes without saying. But it just barely needs to come out of the atmosphere. Yeah, so I'm just going to barely get my periapsis out of the atmosphere with the burn coming up here in just 4 minutes. We'll do this manually. This thing does not have a huge amount of reserve delta V. It should be enough, but not a huge amount. Okay. On there, Jeb. Are you going to have enough fuel for 2 rendezvous? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. Now, to be honest, I think there's a lot of extra fuel in the in that booster with the lander, so we can steal some of that. But first things first, as I continue on with my adventure, not exactly everything going to plan, but we're slowly progressing in the right direction. Let's start this burn, but just not go that hard. So all I want is my periapsis out. Okay. So periapsis is just out of the atmosphere. I'm going to just roll this way for the solar panels. Okay. Still 268 meters per second, which I know is not a huge amount. Got good exposure on that. Okay, let's try and finagle this. So what I'm thinking is here, bring this back down to 75. This is going to be a pain. Yeah. Let's get to... I don't need maneuvers for this. Maneuvers go away. Going to go to periapsis, bring it down to 75 kilometers. And then that way we're going faster because our orbit's now lower. And we should be catching up to it. He is ahead of us, right? The lander? Yes. We'll make this work. We shall make this work. But of course, raising your apoapsis to 90 only to bring it down to 75 is exactly the kind of thing that wastes fuel. Yeah, I can fill the tanks on the STO from that booster. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Might take a little bit. I don't think there's an extra docking port, so we might be doing a little little bit of vessel hopping. A little bit of hot swapping. That's okay. Oh wait, retrograde, dummy. Other way. Other way. Other way, Jeb. Once, you know, I give you control and you can't tell which way to burn anymore? What's wrong with you? So our apoapsis is now at 75 kilometers. Let's take away the ship. That's just confusing the situation. So all we see is our lander. So we should be catching up to the lander. And the idea here is to aim for here for our rendezvous. So what happens if we go ahead one orbit? See, with each orbit, notice how we're coming closer? Yeah, we're just going to have to keep going around till we're finally there. Now, how far in the future? This is 4 hours in the future. That's the problem, isn't it? Poop. Poop, poop, and a poop. Of course, the flips. No, that doesn't work either. Shoot. Okay, if I miss the window, I miss the window. Like we've already, we can adjust. So it's kind of cool. We got an encounter coming up here, without too much effort. But unfortunately, that encounter isn't coming. Here, I got to go another orbit ahead. That encounter isn't coming for another almost 5 hours. Okay, what am I doing wrong? These orbits are too close together. Okay, so I'm popping ahead orbits just to see those encounter indicators. See how they're slowly coming together there? That's too far. Well, we probably have a bit of an inclination difference too. Well, here we go. We got 1.7 kilometers. That'll work, but we're going to be only there in 4 hours and 22 minutes. These guys are fine. Oh yeah, they got 2 days of life support, so that's not an issue. Okay. Might have to tweak the menu with the window. Yeah, I think so, but that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. In fact, why don't I, really quick, right now, switch over to that and fix that right now. Go over to the Ike. Doing it. Oh my gosh. Anyone who watches my streams knows I eventually get things done, but I always seem to get there in the most complicated way. So, this burn is going to have to go a couple more hours into the future. But I don't think that's a big deal. So here, put it on the maneuver, go to here and go ahead, some orbits, 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go, that's 5.5, let's go one more. So we're now a whole day into the future. And I still got my Dune encounter. Yeah, I'm worried about nothing. Clearly I have to tweak it a little bit, but there, I just have to adjust the timing a little bit. It's no biggie. I even have, which I can even take some stuff off here. Make it a little less. No, that's as far as I can go. Okay. Go that way. So there we go. We still got, now the burn is 6 days in the future. So let's get back to our crew. Go. I want to minimize the amount of orbital finagling this thing is doing. So right now we got this tiny, this is going to be an RCS burn. Tiny burn, 1.2 meters per second coming up in 4 hours and 2 minutes. So these folks are just gonna end up doing a little bit of time warpy fun. I just want to make sure the electricity is okay. that it's going to generate once the sun comes up. This solar panel can be a little bit finicky. The actual wings can block it, but it's fine. So there we go. It's finicky. We're gonna get her done. Okay, so back onto the maneuver node here. This is going to be RCS. Nothing but RCS. So we should be seeing actually an encounter here. Yeah, we got a 5 kilometer separation coming up in 20 minutes, 19 minutes. We should be able to make that better. This is going to be an RCSer. Oh my gosh, yeah. Get a little closer. An RCSer, as they say. I don't know if they say that or not, but I'm saying it. I think that's about it. Yep. So 1.7 kilometers. We're going to be there in 18 minutes.